And then he said, do you see it there? And you are the light of the world. And you've been wondering how long it would take me to get to the lighthouse, right? This sits on our back porch and has for many years, just about everywhere we've ever lived, I think, Donnie, since we came back from Haiti. I wanted to remind us as a couple that just because we're no longer living in Haiti as missionaries, wherever we live, God has called us to live as a lighthouse. Why? Light penetrates the darkness, right? Light penetrates the darkness. Isn't that why lighthouses are on shorelines and in places where there's reefs, so that the ships that are out there can find, oh wow, there's the shoreline, and there's danger if we get too close. Radiant Jesus followers penetrate the darkness. Now, little children, when you came in today, Miss Amanda gave you a flashlight, right? Let me see your flashlights, kids. You got them? You've been waiting. Okay, can we extinguish the lights so we can see the kids' flashlights? Take them down. Okay, let me see your lights, kids. Flash them around. Shine them in your mom and dad's eyes. No. Look at that. Now, if you got a cell phone in the room and you'd like to add your light to their light, go ahead. Don't make any phone calls. Just go ahead and hold it up so we can see. There we go. That's cool. But it really hasn't yet dispelled the darkness, has it? It's penetrating the... Oh, wow, there's a serious light. It's penetrating the darkness, but it hasn't yet dispelled the darkness. Now, we have up in the ceiling here some really cool lights. They're called intelligent lights. Go ahead and flip those around for me, my brother, and let the people see. Look at this. Isn't that neat? Now, that's pretty cool. But it still hasn't dispelled the darkness. Okay, now you can bring the lights up. Now we're talking about dispelling the darkness. Now, what's the difference between what we were just doing and when you go to watch a nighttime football game with the stadium lights? One is penetrating the darkness, and one is dispelling the darkness. Would you agree? So how do you do that? It always begins with penetrating the darkness first. Help me now for a moment with some of the ways that we can do that. When you're surrounded by deceit, what penetrates the darkness? Truth. So when you hear deceit, wrong, lies in a conversation, speak truth. That penetrates the darkness. Now, a few more people join you in that, and pretty soon you're going to start dispelling the darkness. Fear. If you find that you're surrounded by people in great fear, what penetrates the darkness of fear? Perfect love drives out fear. Remember, John wrote it, 1 John chapter 4. You love people who are so fearful they're trembling. Embrace them. With a mask on, of course, but embrace them. And that'll calm the fear, and it'll penetrate and drive out the fear. Confusion. Confidence in Jesus. Now think about every negative attribute or adjective. Are those adjectives, Donnie? Whatever those are, fear, courage, etc. Think about every negative one you can think of, and then think about the positive response that Jesus would want you to make if you are a radiant follower of Jesus. Light penetrates the darkness. Light dispels the darkness. Light illuminates the path. Psalm 119, your word, O Lord, is a light under my path and my steps. We just heard from 2 young adults this morning, and we could have taken the microphone and gone down the road with all of them, and they would probably tell us, well, to tell you the truth, I don't have the foggiest idea where I'm going to be in 5 years or 10 years. But for right now, I've got enough light to take this step. Am I right, Jaden? Hayden, am I right? Guys, am I right? And the wonderful thing about that is, God's response, you know what it is? Good. Because you'll trust me. You see, if I gave you enough light that you could see all the way till you're 60, it wouldn't take very long, and you would have a sense you don't need my help at all. But because I'm giving you just enough light to take a few more steps, you'll hold tightly to my hand. Am I right? There's power in that. Light illuminates the path. And isn't it true that you'll hold more tightly to the hand of Jesus if you can only see a couple of steps ahead of you? There's a search committee in this church right now that is doing the best they can to hold on and say, Jesus, show us a couple more steps. And you're praying, I hope, for them. The decision they have before them is gigantic. How far do you see out ahead? Here's another question. Have there been times in your life when God gave you a light for here, but instead of stepping there, you stepped there? You stepped out of the light that he was giving you, thinking, I have a better idea, God. And I'm glad that you're a loving God and you're a forgiving God, but I can see where you'd like me to take the next step, but over here looks, even though it's dark, it sure looks interesting, and I think I can find my way over here. Ever done that? If you have done that, adults in this room, make sure you teach your children and your grandchildren and any who will hear, what terrible lessons did you learn by going this way when the light was over here? Am I right? This is one of those things that you plug in, and then you plug in the outlets to it here, and then you set the timer so that the light will go on when you want it on your outdoor trees, and off when you don't want it on, right? Well, Donnie and I have learned something, that if this is somewhere where there's a lot of rain, and the light goes out even though it's not supposed to go out. But you know why I brought it? Are you plugged directly into Jesus so that you're shining all the time? Or are you circumventing it so that you shine when you want to shine, but you're dark just like all the other darkness around you when you'd like to be incognito? What do you think Jesus thinks about that? You're the light of the world. By my power, I will penetrate the darkness through you like a lighthouse or like a flashlight. By my power, turn on the stadium lights. We're going to dispel the darkness when it's not just you, but there's several of you, my people, in a community, in a school, in a place, in a business. We're going to push back the darkness. I will illuminate the path for you if you follow me. And one last one. Do you have a dentist that has one of those lights on his forehead or her forehead that when they're looking in your mouth, they put the light on because they want to really see one particular spot? Or have you seen pictures of surgeons that have them on their heads? Have you ever been down in a coal mine? What is it like when our light not only illuminates the path, but enables the strategic? Where you face a strategic decision. God has placed before you a strategic opportunity, and God illuminates what he wants you to do in that particular moment. Now, in all of these, would you agree, this idea of penetrating the darkness, it's because we're surrounded by darkness, and dark likes it dark. Dispelling the darkness requires a whole bunch of us and the power of God because the darkness is so thick and it's always encroaching, advancing. Illuminating the path, what's really amazing is Brother Kevin has a lamp over there for he and his family, and I have a lamp for Donnie and me, and you have a lamp, and God is illuminating each of our paths continually. But then there are times that he opens a door of opportunity, or suddenly you come upon a situation that you hadn't expected, and now we need laser-focused light to enable the strategic decisions, strategic words, and you may never get another chance at that. You're the salt of the world. You're the light of the world. Not because of who you and I are, but because of who Jesus is in us.